Welcome to Beyond the Beers. Men breaking a stereotype through conversation. We men love a good yarn, some banter, even better over a beer or tea. Sadly for many men, it never goes deeper than that. This show is a place for men to go beyond the surface level conversations, a chance to learn, listen, laugh and grow. I'm your host Mike Jacko, man coach and author of Amazon bestseller for men's health, Unleash Your Alpha. Let's break stereotypes through conversation. Let's go beyond the beers. Welcome to Beyond the Beers, conversations and cool shit for men. Today I have with me Jackson Old, or Jacko. Now, Jacko and I met when we did a 12-day cycle tour through Cambodia for the organisation Project Futures. And I recall about 1 a.m. in Singapore Airport Transit Lounge, getting my name yelled just after this guy's name, and we wandered off to our room together. And this young kid said, "Oh, I'm a motivational speaker." In my head, I was tired as all hell. We had a bit of chat. He went out for a beer. I went to sleep. And we proceeded to room together for the next 12 nights of that trip. And it was a very interesting thing for me. One, because I'm 34, Jacko's 21, and having this 21-year-old motivational speaker was incredibly intriguing to me, but I also learned very quickly that I really love his perspective and take on life, and he's got some very cool stories which we're going to share with you today. So, Jacko, welcome.
Thanks
for
mate.
coming.
Nice to be here. It's a lovely little spot we're here today in the Sydney's Man Cave. It's very, very nice.
One of the things we like to do here on Beyond the Beers is get to know the guest a little bit first of all. So what I want to do is I want you to give us a little bit of the casual over a beer. What do you spend your time doing and how do you make an impact in the world?
Right, so for me, my sort of time is all about giving back to others. So I'm really passionate about my job. I get to wake up every day pretty excited about what I do. So for my job, I get to go out, present to youth, adults, all sort of mixed type of people, and sort of motivate them to achieve what they want to achieve, and just not limit themselves to that sort of 9-to-5 grind of just paying the bills and that sort of thing. Sort of follow their dreams, as you'd say. The second thing I'm really passionate about is disability. So I hate the fact that disabled people just are really categorised as people that can't really do anything. Mm-hmm. So sort of my passion and a charity that I work with called Dandelions, we're all about giving kids and adults opportunities to play a bit of sport, network, have a bit of fun, and just go beyond their disability to show people that they really can do some things and really show the world that they're a bit of a person as well and not that. So our sort of philosophy behind that is it's diffability, not disability, so just a different ability. Not because sort of disability categorises them straight away as they have, it's like that word dis, like they can't do something. So diffability just means they're a little bit different, doesn't mean they can't do it. And so that's why we like to call that what we do. But very outside of work, I love my footy, love my sport, love my horses. I grew up on a horse farm, so that's sort of what I love, and that's what sort of get around.
So, and I know this stuff about you, right, which is partly of what intrigued me about you, but the real thing that intrigued me was the story behind it. So can you tell us how you got to that point?
So it's sort of all the pinnacle of my story sort of started late end of high school, where I suffered a pretty debilitating neck injury. So I can't feel from my shoulder up on my left side. I can't really taste properly. Have a lot of problem swallowing food because my esophagus doesn't work properly. So all these different challenges I have. So sometimes a couple of beers in, you have a bit of struggles getting the beer down without having a choke or two. But all these different challenges, and it all stemmed from a football injury. At training, just unfortunate event where someone put a bit of a shot on me and put me in a pretty dangerous spot. So my sort of life went from being easy, just comfortable, going to school, playing footy, everything set out in front of me, to sort of being thrown in the deep end and have to figure out for myself what I wanted to do. And I still didn't know what I wanted to do. And I was lucky enough to come across this organisation that really built me up and then sort of gave me this attitude of giving back. And then that was further cemented in when I went for a trip to Timor and built a few skills. So I really sort of developed this culture where it's all about giving back to people. And if you give back, people are going to start giving back to you as well. That's sort of my philosophy behind it.
Very nice. And so I feel like you're kind of underselling the story a little bit there. The thing that really resonated with me from you was that it was a very serious injury. You broke your neck. You had to learn to walk again, but also to talk again, right? So you talk about, different ability. There was a lot of that seriously impacted on you, right?
Yeah, so it wasn't so much the walking again, that was pretty fine, it's just the talking again.
Yeah.
So my voice box was, just didn't give out words properly, so I'd have a real strong lisp. I wouldn't be able to finish my words properly. It was all to do with the numbness and the different nerve endings not working properly.
Yep.
So there's a nerve that runs in your face. It's called the fifth nerve. And what happens is there's 5 nerves that branch out in your face. When I got hit, mine was torn back out of my face and snapped in the channel, which is behind your ear. So all my facial nerves don't work properly. So I can't smile properly. My eye doesn't work properly. Doesn't like blink and that sort of stuff. So they got to put a gold weight in there later to make sure I can blink properly. So all those sort of things, and that's what stopped me talking properly.
So you're still going through some
Still
therapies?
going through that.
So how long ago was this?
4 years ago now.
Okay, 4 years. You're still going through it, but it's certainly not something that holds you back.
No,
clearly.
definitely not. Like, it stops me playing my footy, which is
Yeah.
which was a massive passion of mine because my brother plays it, my family love it, so it's a bit of a passion. But just everyday things that are a bit of a struggle. Like, if I can't really chew steak properly because the struggle with the esophagus.
I remember you
the
sharing that
flap,
one in Cambodia.
yeah,
That was your big
thing. The little
thing.
flap just doesn't cover my windpipe anymore. So if I don't do what I got to do properly, I'll probably choke and have a bit of trouble and be splitting up a bit. But just all those little challenges of talking again, going through rehab and spending my weekends at the minor hospital instead of being out on a football pitch were pretty tough to sort of bring my mind around, for sure.
And that's one of the things that massively impressed me with you was your perspective on life. You know, for such a young guy, you've got a very sound, but still youthful, head on your shoulders. You've been through some pretty big challenges in terms of that story of your recovery. So I'm interested to know what other challenges you've faced in your life, or do you face?
Probably the biggest one for me was because I went to such a heavily football school, I had to leave that school because of a few challenges because I wasn't playing football anymore, and there was some bit of tension there with the school. So I left that school and I had to start again. Mm-hmm. New friends, all that sort of stuff. So I didn't really know what I liked anymore. So I was football was everything. Like, we played rep football, we played school football.
So at this stage you were what, about 17?
Yeah, 16, 17. So that was like my life. So I had to change that and sort of find these new friends, get my groove back into my study because that was like I had to do my new thing, and like find all these new sports and all that sort of stuff. So it's a big step up to sort of change my life path where it was going to be play a bit of footy and be a tradie to go into a life path where I'll probably have to study because being in a corporate job is probably where I'm going to have to be because of the injury. Like, being a tradie is going to be a bit rough on my back, rough on my neck, and I've already suffered some pains from injury as it is. So learning to forget that life path was pretty tough. Sort of sent me into a bit of a spiral downward because when you lose everything, you've got to rebuild, and you can't always see that light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. So I had to just battle away, as I like to say, chip at the rock and find things I like. Like, I really started to like basketball. Yeah. Found some really good mates that were interested in the same sort of stuff I was. And then as soon as that Y-Lead company came along, I really sort of settled into my groove, found what I liked, found that I was really good at meeting people and really good at telling stories and that sort of stuff, and sort of found that maybe my career path would be in front of people and telling a few jokes, making people laugh, but making sure they're getting inspired to follow what they want to do.
Cool, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I got from you in Cambodia was the stories, rooming with you for 12 nights. Yeah, it was full of stories. Chat. Mate, it was great. And you know, it showed how personable you are and how you've taken some pretty heavy shit in your stride and come out the other side. One of the topics that we like to talk about here on Beyond the Beers is the topic of manhood and how to improve ourselves as men and individuals. Now, I know that in your work you're often dealing with boys and men, a range of ages, right, and stages in life. So I'm interested to get your take on what you think it is to be a man today. I
think it's really tough for us boys or men to sort of figure out what that is. Because at the moment, look, don't get me wrong, I love the feminist movement. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. Everyone should be on the same page. I agree with that completely. But we've sort of told boys that they can't be boys anymore. We've given them, if you don't do this, you're this, and if you're always around girls, you've got the chance of being a sexual predator, and you've got all this sort of stuff thrown at them. And we've sort of said, boys, you can't do that, and sort of we've sheltered them a lot. And there used to be with boys, you used to try and be the alpha male, and you'd be the protector, and you'd be the strong one, and you'd be the main income earner of your family. And we've sort of told them, no, that's not the thing. Pull yourself back, control your urges, control who you are, and you're not allowed to express yourself. So I think we've sort of really challenged that for boys, and it's become sort of a space where boys are really challenged to find who they are. So
So do you think that they are challenged in the sense that they are finding it challenging?
Yeah, I think like they're challenged to not follow what they want to do, but
Yep.
sort of sculpt how society, they have to sculpt themselves to what society thinks a man should be.
Yeah.
And a lot of boys are coming out, they're a lot of depression,
Yep.
high suicide rates, all that sort of stuff, because I don't
And
think
are you
they're
talking
finding.
to these kind of people
Yeah,
on a daily
definitely.
basis?
And boys are really struggling to find who they are. Like for me, if I look at the pinnacle of man in today's society, it's someone who gives to community, has a great family, really good to his partner, really good to his, or whoever the partner may be,
Yep.
whether a man or a woman, has a good job, loves what he does, and just really moulds in society and is like a giver
Yep.
and a protector.
So he contributes.
Contributes,
But
exactly.
a bit of a, to some degree, perhaps a bit of like a North Star.
That's right.
For a role model.
That's right, like
Yeah.
a role model to younger men. But I think society's just told men to be, okay, what your role is, be a nice person, rah, and just fit in.
Yep.
Rather than be that strong influence, be that strong role model, be that
Yep.
someone to look up to and go, hey, I look at him, let's say his name's Ben, I look at Ben, great job, great family, goes out, leads the community, and like given that opportunity to lead, where we're not telling young boys to lead, we're just telling young boys to fit in.
Yep.
I think it's going to create like a real bit of a challenging sphere for men, and I think that's why, so what do you see my generation of boys being really socially awkward and that, because they just
Yep.
haven't really pushed themselves to find who they are and sort of
Okay.
step up to be that man.
Yeah. And I would agree with you there, and I think that was the key little thing you said at the end there. Find who they are.
Yeah.
Just a little bit lost as to where they are, and it also sounds like you went through that to some degree yourself, in the sense that your identity was football player, probably
Yeah,
tradie
alpha
at some
male.
point,
Yeah.
and then that got
Stripped.
one fell swoop taken away.
Stripped
Right?
out, so I had to...
But you did that work.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, went from the football player, like leader at school, going to be a tradie alpha male figure, to new school, better, like a bit of a beta sort of person, like down the bottom.
Yep.
Still testing the waters, not as confident, not as many friends, and sort of trying to have to find who I was while I had these sort of other influences trying to tell me who I should be, rather than
Yep.
letting me be who I am.
Yeah. So do you find now that you've found that you've managed to,
Yeah, I think...
kind of shake off the conditioning or the expectations to find your own path?
I think I've still got, there's a lot of those conditions that are just constantly placed on you, whether it's through media, family, friends, or mentors. But I think I've really started to figure out that this is what I want to do. It's okay to be able to do what I want to do. I'm allowed to break the path of going to uni, spending 5 years there,
Yep.
going in a desk job that you hate doing, and just finding what you want to do. So I think
Yeah,
I've broken
nice.
that mold, but I still think I'm finding who I really want to be. Because like I said, some days when you wake up and say you're going to an all-girls school, and you've got to be like, okay, I'm going to have to chuck on this bit of a mask where I take off my ochre, like who I am.
And so you're talking about when you're going to present.
Yeah, so like that's the toughest thing for me. Like sometimes I have to take off my really ochre strong man, strong-willed, speaks my opinion, to be a bit softer, calmer,
Yeah.
gentler. So that's the part I struggle with, because I hate changing who I am.
Yeah.
Because I've worked so
Yeah,
hard to
yeah.
get there.
Absolutely, and that reminds me of one of the stories that I remember you sharing. Was, to me, that very ochre, right?
Yeah.
Getting up in front of your school and saying a few cuss words, but being 100% yourself, which I absolutely love. Okay, so while we're on this topic of manhood, and we've kind of touched on it very briefly, but what do you think then, given your own experiences in life and talking and dealing with a lot of males around Australia, what do you think are the biggest issues facing us today? And then, as an extension of that, you personally?
I think the biggest issue for men at the moment that I'm finding is being that provider, being the classic, I'm the man, I'm the main income earner, my family will be this.
And so you mean, by that you mean a pressure or expectation?
Yes, I think so completely. Like one stage of the argument, there's a lot of influence in young people at the moment, which is excellent, saying follow your dreams, chase them really hard. And on the other side, some of these dreams can't provide that big income of being the main income earner.
Security.
So they're following their dreams, but the expectation here of being a great man is having a big income and providing for your family. This dream isn't chasing the expectation there. So they've got all these pressures like, I'm following my dreams, but I'm not being that alpha male that I'm supposed to be. So then they've got that gap there where they can't fill, and it leads to a bit of depression and a bit of anxiety because they're not filling that.
Yeah.
And then that next thing is the whole, we're just not letting men be men anymore. We're not letting them be leaders. We're not letting them be strong-willed. We're sort of taking away their like manhood.
Yeah.
And for that, like you can't suppress those things. It's natural for us to be like, go to school and want to push around each other and be the alpha male, or push around and find the pecking order. That's natural for us to do.
Yeah.
But we're walking into school and saying, this is your structure. Don't go near each other. Don't touch each other. Don't play hard football. If you play football, you're a brute. If you play this sport, you're a wussy. Like all those sort of pressures. And kids are just playing some sport. Like it shouldn't dictate who you are.
Yeah.
So there's all those sort of like social statures that are putting kids in pretty precarious spots as well.
So a lot of that's still coming back to conditioning and essentially pressures and expectations coming down through individuals and then through society kind of as a whole.
Yeah. And then if we look at like, I'd say your generation, from some of the people I'm friends with, the blokes who played football are the alphas and kings, even though they might not be good blokes. The blokes who played the softer sports like, apologies for my reference there, but like soccer or anything like that, they're not considered as manly as those blokes. And then the blokes that loved music, loved drama, really creative blokes are not even considered in the picture at all. They're not considered men, and I hate that. Because like we go to the movies and watch creative people, but we think it's the greatest thing in the world. But yet, as soon as we meet one of them, we think they're a wussy. We love listening to music on the radio. We think they're like just.
So we've kind of got these two images, polar opposites.
Exactly right, and they don't make sense.
Yeah.
Which is a real shame because you shouldn't feel like because you've chosen to do something, you're not the man. You're not an alpha. You're not strong. You're not willed. Like I think we've really put that pressure. Like you've got to be big muscled. And then you look at like those magazines like Men's Health. I know you've featured in some of those Men's Fitness with your big six pack and stuff. And like men look at that and go, shit, here I am with a bit of a dad bod at 16. There's Mike Campbell, massive shoulders, great biceps, great abs. And there's these other blokes on there as well. And they look at that and go, shit, I'm not that.
Yep.
And these used to be like challenges that just face like young girls. Now they're men facing them as well. So like you go to gym now, you'd only ever see like blokes in their mid-20s working out. You see kids like as young as 13 in there, busting their choppers to try and do it.
Yep.
And one of my friends is a personal trainer up in Brisbane, and he specialises in anorexia. And now he's getting more boys in than girls with anorexia, and which is a real shame because boys, we play a lot of sport, we're always hungry, and yet there's all these boys that have anorexia because they're looking at these magazines and shaking because they got like no muscles and no like, or maybe they're fat and they look at it and go, well, I'm not a man because I don't look like him and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So, and I would agree. There's a lot of this general kind of expectation on what it should be, and I think you're quite right in this kind of two ends of the spectrum, right? The overt, perhaps macho, and then the complete other side of that, and there's a lack of that kind of balance.
Yeah.
So then, what about you personally?
So the biggest thing for me is sort of owning my confidence or owning my person. So there's a thing that I like to refer to. There's that confidence where you walk into a room completely arrogant, you're better than every bloke. But then there's that confidence of walking into any room and just like not having to compare. So you walk in and
you're happy in your skin. And
exactly
that's what
right.
it's about. Yep.
So for me, the biggest challenge for me is owning that.
Yeah.
Because like if I look at me, like I hate saying it and I hate opening up to it, but half my face doesn't work.
I wasn't expecting that to be what you said.
Yeah, half my face doesn't work. My eye's constantly infected and constantly red. I've got like a droopy eye as well. Eyebrow drops down a bit, so I look a bit funny. So that's the starting point. Before I even open that door, that's me. Some of my words don't come out perfectly. So some people automatically think, oh, he's got a lisp or he's got this. Or So there's all these sort of steps before someone's even met me. So for me, walking into a room...
these are things that are very present in your head.
Very present.
Yep.
Because every morning I wake up, I walk into a mirror and I look at it. I'm like, okay, I'm Jackson Hall, I do this, this and this, but half my face doesn't work. I've got this, my eyes up shit's creek. This, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Compared to just being like, Jackson Hall, great job, gives to charity, rah, and feeling what I believe to be like the ultimate male in my eyes. Yeah. So instead of walking in that room and being like, this is me, how I is, I'm being like, okay, I've got this, and sort of playing in my mind. So that for me, to really own who I am and to sort of fit into that ultimate man that I want to be is sort of eliminating them. Like they're not going to change. The whole face thing can't change. There's no nerve feeling in there. They were talking about putting Botox in my face to sort of pull it out a bit and make it look a bit more sharp, but they can keep that. Yeah. So owning that, walking into the room where I don't have to worry about it.
And so correct me if I'm wrong here. So then are you saying that there's times where that perhaps more forced confidence comes out to counter for that?
That's right. So before I open that door in front of me, I'd be, okay, chuck the mask on, overconfident, compensate.
Yep.
Boom.
Okay.
In. Mindset change.
Yep. So how does it feel to talk about that as one of your big issues? The fact that there's things going on? Yeah.
I hate it because I'm a very one-faced person. Like,
Yeah.
I am who I am.
Yeah.
I swear, I'm loud,
Mm-hmm.
I like to drink, and I'm confident. I hate to open up about me having these facial issues because that sort of takes away from who I am. And
Of
I hate
course,
to
but
say,
let me interject. That is who you are, and that's one of the things that I personally was so attracted to, because you are who you are, and that's such a fascinating aspect of your story.
yeah, completely. It's just still walking that room and not having to worry about that 20% of who I am. And it's not big like that. It's just this part of me.
Yeah.
But still, it still has that massive impact before you go and meet.
Absolutely.
And in a job where I'm constantly networking,
Yeah.
constantly meeting big people, constantly meeting new people as well, it's sort of challenging to be able to go, okay, this person's really important to me. I've got to make sure I'm this, and then go, okay, but half my face doesn't work.
Yeah.
Which is
But I think that this is an important point to make, which is everyone's got that stuff. Everyone's got a little list in there somewhere, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Some people are overweight, some people are
or whatever that is in their head.
Yeah.
Like, they might not be, but that's their story, right?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes back to, is our story, owning that, right? And being you. Okay. Now, obviously, beyond the beers, right? One of the aims of this show, very much so, is to encourage men to have more meaningful conversations that go beyond the normal kind of banter that we have over a beer, right? So I'm interested to know, because it's hard sometimes, and you've kind of alluded to this a little bit, but is there stuff that you struggle to go into, that you struggle to talk about, that you might avoid, or maybe just have surface level conversation instead of?
So it's probably the whole neck injury itself. Like, when I tell my story a lot at work, but when I tell my story, if we look at say it's a puddle, I tell the surface ripples, and yet there's the underwater, there's the plant life, there's all the animals as well, and none of that gets spoken about. New people coming into my life. So the people that knew about it, probably the ex-girlfriend, the new girlfriend, of course, best mates, that sort of stuff. They really know what's going on because they hear about it. They want to know. They're very interested. And after a while, I just go, nah, fuck it. This is what's going on, lads, or this is what's going on, babe. But the new people that come in that start meaning something, new people that are in and really take a lot of care in who I am and that sort of stuff, telling them what happened, telling them what I'm doing.
Yeah, and by that do you mean what you've been through in your head and stuff as well?
Even some days it's tough. Like, I walk into a school, and older kids are good at it because they're too respectful. But younger kids, if you go let's think under 13 under, what's wrong with your eye, sir? Sir, why do you only smile? Why have you got half a smile? What's going on, sir?
Yeah.
Oh, so why do you always touch your neck? Stuff like that, and then it hits with the heartstrings. Yeah. And then you just say to them, I've just had a tough day, or I got my eye infected. I was out in the dust. So days like that, where you've just got that constantly said to you all day, is tough. And then like I said, new people coming in and they want to know what's going on, but you only tell them this much. And they're like, no, there's more to it, Jacko. That's not all that happened. So
getting into the real depths of that conversation is the stuff
because it's still pretty fresh, hey. It's still completely fresh. And what went on was completely unacceptable. For me to be at a training session and get hit by my own teammate and do some serious damage to my neck and have a bit of brain damage and complete facial palsy is pretty serious. That's not an everyday thing, and that's not what your teammates do. You go to training, have a bit of a high five, and yet some big fuckhead wants to chuck a big shot on you and completely ruin that and take away your ability to go step on a football.
Yeah, so let's just pinpoint that. So you're talking about a purposeful hit.
Yeah,
right?
Purposeful hit.
So something that you're never expecting it, but in those conditions, certainly not.
At training, in a touch drill, purposeful hit, boom, life changed. So for me to bring that up to other people isn't the greatest thing for me to do, because I get shakes, I get angry, I get goosebumps, I get pissed off. Yeah. Because that should never have happened, I shouldn't be sitting here today telling someone that half my face doesn't work, in constant pain, can't taste properly, all this shit, where I should just be sitting here saying, oh hey, nice to meet you, mate. I play footy. Let's go grab a beer. What do you do? I'm a builder. What do you do? Sweet. Everything should be normal. Where I'm going to sit here.
Thank you for coming in and sharing that story with us. Absolutely.
Oh, thank you. And where I'm going to sit here and tell everyone all this hurtful shit that's happened to me, and tell them that my life completely changed because of one bloke's actions, of what he decided to do one day after a training session. And then people want to hear about it. Yeah. And the classic one for me is people say, oh, are you okay? As soon as people say that, I want to punch them. Yeah. Because I hate that. I hate people being like, oh, are you all right? Oh, Jackson, it's fine.
So what do you think it is about that question?
That question? I don't know what it is, but as soon as people say, are you okay? For me, that's weakness. And I hate being told I'm weak. I hate people saying that because I fought so hard not to be that. So as soon as someone says, are you okay? For me, that's someone telling me I'm weak. So I just want to knock on one. And I almost do. I've just got to pull back and be like...
So then let me put this to you, because you're speaking a lot earlier about your desire and then willingness to give. to people. So the words might be different, but do you find that you, if you think about it, ask a question similar to that to other people?
Never.
Yeah.
All I ever say, if I'm like, say Timor, it's never about them being okay. It's saying here.
In Timor, sorry.
East Timor. Yeah. So when I went over for school, it was never about, oh, these people are so unfortunate. Are you okay? Mm-hmm. Where they're that happy with what they got. It's me just going and saying, hey, I've got an opportunity. Here's something I've given to you. Hope you guys enjoy it. Not saying, oh, I feel so sorry for you guys. I feel that sorry that I've built you a skill. There you go. Yeah. For me, to them, that's disrespectful.
So coming on the same level.
Yeah. For me, coming in and saying, I'm this big Western. I've got there's all this money and we built your skill. We feel sorry for you. Here's a skill. Do work. Where me coming in and being like, hey, love how happy you guys are. We thought we'd build this for you. Here's a nice skill. Whatever you want to use it for, cool. It looks great. Thanks for helping us building it. Have a nice day. See you next year. Completely different angle. For me with disability, coming in and saying, hey guys, awesome to meet you. Today we're going to play a bit of sport. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to enjoy it with you. Rather than being like, hey guys, today we put on a sporting event. We know you guys never get to play sport. We know your dad's never seen you play sport before. So we thought we'd run one for you. Yeah.
So then when you're getting that question, is it a case of feeling like you're being talked down to?
Yeah, it's feeling like I've been like I'm not respected and feeling like I'm weak and feeling like that person there is more stronger than me and they're asking me and they've got some advice they can give me and they've got some help they can give me. Where, no, fuck off. Talk to me normal. Just have a chat with me. Just say what's going on. Not just saying like for someone to say to me, hey Jacko, how's everything been? Completely different question. Yeah. I could say, oh look, this day's been a bit rough. Rah, rah, rah. I can tell people.
Yeah. So you are happy to delve into that stuff and give a genuine answer?
Exactly right. But as soon as you tell me, like as soon as you ask a question that automatically in my mind makes me feel weak, not like, to me that's disrespectful.
And I think, the key thing there being that level.
Yeah,
someone's
the angle of approach.
You're under or needing help as opposed to just being
there for you. Yeah. Come at the same angle. Just come in and offer support.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so then leading on from that, can you share any stories where similar, the thought of having a conversation scared you, but you did it and it was a success?
So we'll snap back to when the neck happened 2 weeks after, probably let's say 2 months after, sorry, so 8 weeks. To make a decision whether I was going to change skills or not. Stay in an environment where I wasn't supported, I was pushed down, just wanted me to fit in, or change to a skill where I reckon I could build myself up. So I had a best mate that I was friends with from primary school. And for me, I had to go to him. So if I was going to make this move, he'd have to deal with me. Yep. So I went to him and I said, look, this is what I want to do. I didn't want to see him. I dreaded it. I was just going to just swallow my pride and just stay at this.
So the idea of confronting him with this conversation was scary.
Shit scary, because I didn't know what he'd say. I went to him and sat him down. I said, look, this situation, you know what's happening. I want to change to this skill down the road. And he was like, look, they've stuffed my brother around as well. Maybe I should make the change. Maybe I should go. So we had a bit of a chat. Yeah, okay. It was great. We said what we said, and we said we're going to move. I was going to do it straight away. He was going to do it at the end of the term. Mm-hmm. That's what happened. And then I went home that day. Didn't want to tell mum and dad, but I did. Burst out in tears and said, hey, it's time for a change. School's shit. I need to go to this better school. Can't stand around fuckheads anymore. I've had enough of it.
I love how this would be the exact words that you said.
Exact words I said. I said, I can't stand around fuckheads anymore. They're changing who I am. It's not a good environment. I need to switch. Yep. And I didn't want to do any of that. For me, I'm all about structure, routine, discipline. And for me to go for a school where I love discipline, and that school's very disciplined, where I had structure, uniform, perfect. I love that. So I reckon that's why I really respect the Army, because they've got that. For me to completely break discipline and break the mold and say, hey, you guys are dickheads. Yep. Like you've got no fucking idea. And tell them that was hard for me as well, because I've broken my code of being disciplined, and I've broken the respect to that school, which I gave a lot to. Yep. So that was hard as well, to sort of go, nah, see you later, on your high horse, I'm off. So that was hard as well.
Yeah, but you had those conversations, the outcome was successful.
The outcome was exactly what I needed.
So would you say that, because I think this is something that's very common, and I've certainly been there plenty of times myself, we can think about what is going to be like this worst case scenario. Yeah. And I think that's the biggest thing. Build up the story in our head, and then at the end of the day, we have it, and it's nowhere near as bad as we thought.
Our preconceived ideas are always worst case scenario. They're never middle or best case scenario. They're always worst case scenario. And if we just let that play, most of the time it's never going to happen. That worst case scenario is probably 95% chance it's not going to happen.
But it keeps us frozen, right? So we don't act.
Keeps us stagnant. Yeah. We can't move forward with that preconceived.
So you see this in your own life, but do you see this when you're out presenting, talking to people as well?
Yeah, definitely. Like for me, my biggest dream is to open up a gym and present to men on my basis and do it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest thing holding me back is that starting your own business is scary.
Mm-hmm.
Starting a gym, what if it fails?
Mm-hmm.
What if people don't want to get me?
Mm-hmm.
What if people don't like what I have to say? And that's just bullshit. I've made that for myself.
Yeah, well, what about the flip of all of those?
What about the flip?
What if it succeeds?
Run a successful business.
Yeah.
Great presenter.
So do you think about that stuff?
I do.
Yeah.
So for me, I've just got to make sure I figure out that that's crap.
Yeah.
And I'm confident enough to do it.
But being aware that that story's happening in your head, right? And I think that's a very important fact.
Knowing it's there.
We can play out this story, because we all have these stories in our head, and often it's the worst case scenario or something. So recognizing that it's happening, and then thinking about, well, what's actually the best case, or the potential best case?
Mm.
Okay, so now I'm very interested, because we're speaking about conversation, right? And for me, one of the big things is having the internal conversation, asking yourself the big questions and the things that you spoke about earlier around knowing who you are, right? Forging your path. So do you have what I would call an extension of that internal conversation, rules or a code or perhaps maxims that you live by?
Yeah, definitely. Probably the biggest one for me is like take advantage of every opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, when I had nothing, opportunities what got me to where I was, and I had this real like obsession with saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter what it was, didn't matter how big the person was, didn't matter how much money they had or what stature they had. Just saying yes to any opportunity they gave to me. So like they've given me an opportunity, they've seen something in me, and it's a risk they're taking by giving it to me.
Yep.
So it'd be like disrespectful for me not to take it.
Cool.
And for me to take that opportunity, I don't know where it could lead. So I took Oztag, awesome, loved it. Took Y-Lead, led me to my Dandelion charity. Like all these different opportunities have sort of made a tree for me and gave me a bit of a network. Like now I'm mates with the bloke who runs Thank You Water. Like all these different opportunities lead me to meet these pretty cool people. And for me, that sort of obsession with saying yes to opportunity. And I'm sure with you and your business, like every opportunity that you've taken has led you somewhere pretty special and you've met some different people.
Or by the way, or not, right? But it's led you to a lesson from which to perhaps gauge
because
the
there's
next
definitely
step.
opportunities you take that lead straight to a dead end.
Yeah.
And you've got nothing, but you just backtrack back and find
There's a
another
lesson
one.
there.
Exactly
Cool.
right.
So saying yes to opportunities.
Yeah,
Anything
definitely.
else?
I just think owning who you are. I don't think
like
many
that.
people can do that.
Yep. And it's obviously something you spoke about earlier. That's you're pretty good at it. You know who you are, but there's an element that still struggles, and which is natural, by the way. Yeah.
And when you own who you are, it sort of it reflects in your life. Like you look at your business, you've owned who you are, and now you're helping other blokes do that. Me, I own who I am. I get to help others with disability. I get to help others in their job. We look at this place we're in today. Sarah's owned who she is. She's got this awesome place with great bottles of liquor, awesome, all cool stuff around this place. So when someone owns who they are, they can reflect it in their life and they can invite other people to feel open to be able to do that. Mm-hmm. So by us owning who we are, we're an open invitation to let others do that.
Absolutely. I really like that. And I think something that's really important to note there is that we teach the world how to treat us, right? Mm. So if we are ourselves, then we teach the world who we are. Absolutely. Very cool. Now, we've spoken a lot about the things that you bring into your life, the things that you choose around charity work and all that kind of stuff. So, and I'm not trying to lead you in here, but I can kind of get a little bit of an idea, but I want to ask you specifically, do you have an acute awareness of your biggest drivers, your real why as to why you do what you do?
Not really sure. I think it's just, that's a real tough question. Like you've pretty much stumped me, but I think
can see your reaction physically is a little bit different.
like it sort of takes me back a bit, but I think the biggest driver for me is just giving people that permission to be able to lead themselves. Like for me, I didn't really have that sort of influence.
Yeah.
To be able to someone that I could look to and say they really own themselves.
Okay,
so for me, it's about owning who I am to let other people be able to do that.
Okay.
So I love the fact that I've got complete control of what I do. I wake up, I'm excited for work. On the weekends, I get to do what I want to do. I love that I can do that.
Yep.
And I want to keep being able to get up every day. And that's probably the biggest drive for me, get up every day and do what I want to do. Like for me, the next step when I leave this job is going and having a gym. Like I couldn't think of anything better than walking into a gym and being able to do what I want to do.
But still being able to do that in the sense of being you providing space for people to be able to be themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Like people meet me and they go, holy shit, he's 20, 21 years old and he's doing all this cool shit. I can do that too.
Yeah.
Like I want people to be able to look at that and be like that.
Absolutely.
Like I'm not chucking an ego on myself, but I want people to be able to do that. I don't care if
You
you're
don't
40,
have pride.
60 or 15.
Yeah.
I just want people to be able to look at me and see what I'm doing and say it's easy to do that. Like change the game a bit.
Very nice. You've shared a little bit around your injury, but has there been or are there times where you feel a bit lost, feel a bit perhaps fearful?
Probably this next stage that I'm going to enter into, like opening my own business and that sort of stuff, that's a massive step. Like for me, looking at that, like my family's always been the type that have their own business, but successful, then there's me. I've got to make sure I maintain that. And for me to be able to do that, you look at that and you go, oh, fuck. That's a big wall I've got to jump over. But
so how do you look at that though?
I get a bit excited.
Yeah?
Like for me, opening your own business is freedom.
Cool.
You can just open it, you do what you want to do, you're in control. Rather you go to work 9 to 5, you work someone else and make their dream happen, which I hate that idea. Like, cool, give someone a job, but give someone a bit of a hammer and let them create what they want to do.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay, so now getting into this topic again of conversations and tougher conversations. Is there anything that you do not talk about that you're willing to share with us today?
I don't know, I'm pretty open book, hey? Like, I've pretty much told you everything today.
And you are, absolutely.
I'm
a
very open book. Like, if you ask something, I'll tell you. But it's probably the whole depression side of when I went through that. Like, not many people hear that story. Like, I was depressed. I was in a shit spot.
So you're talking
post-injury? Like, I went from alpha, football, killing it, cool.
But also, to give context, like 16 years old.
16 years old.
Yeah.
To nothing. So, massive depression. And, like, I didn't want anyone to know that because I've always been tough, big, strong.
Which is one of the big problems for a lot of men.
Yeah.
And we get it. So, you know, suicide, anxiety, depression, massive in men, and there's this stigma and need to not talk about it, right?
Exactly.
It perpetuates.
Like, you look at an 18-year-old boy and you think someone's going through it, and someone that is looking on the path to kill themselves. Maybe they haven't had a girlfriend, not popular, stuff just spirals out of control and they don't have anyone to talk to. And next thing we know, we've got this news headline that we don't want to see at 7 o'clock in the morning. So for me, massive black dog, the old black dog howling at your back. But that's pretty much it, hey? Like the rest of it, just...
And so at the time, did you speak to someone about it?
No. Because I'm a very strong, I own it, I'll control it, I'll fix it.
So speaking back to, again, you're accepting responsibility for yourself.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think that's very important. I think we should teach people that. I don't think we should tell people that they have to, they have to be able to get out there and, you can't fix it yourself. I think there should be like a two playing field where we can say to people, hey, you are strong enough to be able to do it. You can do it. You can fix it.
Yeah.
Well, I think that should be the approach, the first stage for everyone. And then if someone can't do it by themselves, we get someone in there to help them.
Yeah.
But I think we should really be pushing to tell people that they are strong enough to do it. And people do go through shit, and shit happens. And it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to go through this. And all this shit is normal. Rather than saying, oh, you're depressed, you're a bad person, you're weak, because that's shit. And people hear that and they go, oh, I am shit, I am weak, I'm crap. I'll go jump off a building. There's no point for me being here anymore because no one respects me. You put someone in that shoes, you already fucked them over. Rather than saying to them, hey, I've been through it too. It's shit. I know it's shit. Tell them it's shit because they need to hear it's shit because they think to themselves, oh, but if you tell them, hey, it's shit. I've been through it. I know it's shit, but you can do it. And I've done it. Look at me. Heaps of other people have done it. Don't take that option. You've got so much ahead of you. You're only this old. You're only that old. Even if you're 50 years old, you've still got 40 years to live. You've still got 40 years to fix your shit. I think that should be the approach we take.
And so I'll just jump on something there very quickly. The term fixing your shit, I think, is a really important perspective around that is that we're always still fixing our shit. Nothing gets fixed,
exactly right?
It's just a continual journey and we evolve and we keep going.
Yeah, and at the sort of place we're at the moment, like the environment that everyone's living at the moment, you're not going to be in the same job for 40 years. You're not going to have an easy ride. You're going to chop and change, you're going to do different things, and you've got to be ready for it. You've got to be able to own your shit. You've got to be able to fix shit. Cool. And I think that should be the mindset that we start teaching people.
Okay, now I really like your perspective on life. I think for a 21-year-old kid, you've got some cool stuff going on. So I'm interested to know, can you attribute anything in particular to your general perspective on life?
I put it all to that injury, but I put it all also to the opportunities I've had. Like, every opportunity has taught me something different. And every opportunity is like, I've met some really shit people, and it's people that I look at and just I look at them now and I thought they were king being, and I look at them like, now that I look back at them, I think, oh, you're a complete fuckhead. You're a complete waste of time. So for me, meeting those different types of people, getting those different perspectives has really taught me a lot of things. And
do you think your injury now, speaking about your desire and willingness to say yes to opportunities and stuff, Do you think that your injury has provided you with an opportunity?
I think so. Like, I think the greatest thing anyone can get is something bad happen to them.
Yeah.
I see that as like the greatest thing anyone can have. Like, if something goes wrong to you, it almost should be a party. I think it almost should be bigger than a 21st. Like, I think that's the greatest thing ever. Yeah. Like, for me, my injury happening to me, it was like, if I could throw a party right now, get 40 people, 50 people to it, have a big celebration, I would.
Yep.
Because that hard thing teaches you a lot.
Yep.
And like, it shows you that if you go through that, you can get through it, and then you sort of get some strength through it, and then like, so well, I'm not even scared to open my own business because I'm like, I went through all that shit.
Yeah, cool.
This is going to be a walk in the park. Or
nice.
new
so
job
this is
change.
a significant part of your life, and it's really led to this outlook.
And it gives you a
Very
different
cool.
mindset. Yeah. Like, if you're sheltered your whole life and you're covered and you're protected, something bad goes wrong, you're 30 years old, you've been protected, everything's been a smooth ride, something bad goes wrong, you don't know how to deal with it.
Yep.
You're like, oh, fuck. I've got a wife and kids, I've got no job, I've got no money, right. Bridge jump.
Yep.
Rather than something bad's happened, tools to prepare for it, something bad happened, you go,
cool.
okay, no dramas.
Yeah.
Easy fix. Cool, let's move on. Hey kids, this has happened, we're going to be all right. Rather than being panicked, everyone gets,
Yeah. And so this is, again, we know it happened to you at quite a young age. So then let's move earlier than that. Let's go back to 12, say, 13-year-old Jacko. If you could go back and have a conversation with that guy, is there anything particular you'd say to him?
I'd just say try everything.
Yeah.
Like, my whole life changed in year 12. Like, I tried School Musical. Mm-hmm. I'm the most musically ungifted person you ever met. I couldn't even sing a note. You hear me in the car, you'd probably fucking turn your car around and drive the other way. But I tried School Musical. I was the palm tree at the back. It was a good bit of fun.
Palm tree.
I was palm tree and fucking stage crew, but it was all right. Tried debating. I rocked up to the debating meeting. I said, hey, miss, I do not know what debating is. I couldn't even spell it for you, but I'll give it a go. Yeah. All these different things. If I could say to like the younger fella, hey, give it a go, try different things, play an instrument, rah.
Saying yes to opportunity,
yeah,
right?
give something a go. You'll get to year 9 and you'll be like kingpin because you know all these different things and you'll have a much better time.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's speaking to your younger self. Now, speaking to anyone, is there one person that you would love to have a conversation with?
Probably Barack, like the American president, because like he's black, he's got every. If you look at his story, grew up in a real like low socioeconomic environment. Mum was African American, so is dad. Mum came over. All these things, everything in his story attributes to him not being president and attributes to him just being an average Joe Blow. But yet he's become the most successful president America's ever had, taken him out of debt, improved unemployment, done all these crazy things. And he's just been told the whole time he can't do things. Yep. And like the whole way he approaches everything, like I just love to hear his mindset and hear what he does.
Cool. Very nice. Him. So can you think of a story in your life where, or an example, where you go, you know what, I should have had that conversation, but I avoided it at the time.
I was driving Dan Flynn, so the CEO of Thank You Water, to the airport after a conference. And he's one of those blokes that is just that passionate about what he does, but he doesn't talk about it. He'll go to you, he doesn't care what you do. He'll say, what do you love? Why are you passionate? What can we do? How can we fix it? How can we make it better? So that's what he did with me. He's like, this is what you need to do. This is what you've got to do. I'm excited, right? And get you excited. Mm-hmm. I would have rather just turn that on the head, be like, how the hell did you do it? Because it's easy enough to talk about me. I can sit there and get this warm, buzzy feeling going, oh, this bloke's taking so much interest. He's making me feel good, but that's shit. He hasn't given me any advice. He just told me I can do it. Cool, anyone can tell me that. You can sit here and tell me I could do it. I just love to hear what he did. Because he's taken something that shouldn't have happened. Coca-Cola tried to stop him. All these people tried to stop him, but he made it happen. And last night he just launched his next project and like, you look at him and you think, holy shit, like he's made it. So if I just wish I could have turned that conversation, took it out of me feeling warm and fuzzy going, oh, thanks Dan, you're the man. Rather than being like, hey Dan, how did you do it? How did you beat this? How did you do that? And get that bit of advice. Asking the questions, And
then what about in terms of what you're passionate about? You spoke about providing a example for people to step up and know who they are and own who they are. So would you consider that to be a bigger conversation? By that I mean bigger than you.
Yeah, I just want to start a conversation where we say to young men it's okay to be boys again. Because we've completely fucked that up in the last 5 years. We've taken it away. We've told young boys that they're sexual predators, they're rapists, they're all this bullshit. And look, like I said before, it's feminist movement, greatest thing in the last 100 years, without a doubt. But it doesn't mean we have to tell young boys every day and thrash it through media that all this crap about their rapists.
That we're this end or this end of the spectrum.
Yeah, exactly right. We can't run that spectrum. We just have to say to them, it's okay to be young boys, just don't be a fuckhead. That's simple. I'm not.
Can we please have that on a billboard with your face?
Just seriously, it's okay to be a bloke. It's okay to get angry at another bloke. It's okay to go and hit the shit out of someone in the football field.
It's
Not
okay
punch,
to
but like,
feel your emotions, you mean?
it's okay to own who you are. It's okay to go out there and be tough. It's okay to go out to a skate park and completely thrash yourself and come back with a broken arm. Cool. That's what you're supposed to do. Go out and learn.
Yeah. Okay, so learn, experiment, but also actually go through what's going on and not swallow it down.
Yeah, not swallow it down. Not be like, oh, I'm getting really anxious at the moment, I'm going to swallow, or I'm a bit upset at the moment, I'm going to swallow it.
Yep.
Let it out. Be a bloke. Find who you are. Because we've taken that away from young fellas and it's not acceptable at all.
Very nice. Well, mate, I think we'll end there on your bigger conversations in your own life and then outside of you. So thank you very much for coming along.
Thanks for the chat.
Always good to chat, mate. Always good to chat. I'm looking forward to that billboard. Just be a boy, just don't be a fuckhead.
Yeah, just don't be a fuckhead.
Cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Thanks for tuning into today's show. Make sure to share this with at least one man who you think will enjoy or benefit from it. For those men who want to be part of conversations like this in person, click the link below and go to beyondthebeers.tv/event to find out all the details and get your tickets for Beyond the Beers, the event, Conversations and Cool Shit for Men. That's happening in Sydney on Saturday, August 20th. There'll be a variety of conversations and cool shit to help you learn, share and grow, and then start embracing more meaningful conversations in your own life. To learn more about Mike and how you can work with us, visit mikecampbell.com.au for loads of free content and information on how to become a better man and get more out of your life, including our half-day Solve Yourself workshop, laying the foundations for personal mastery. If you want to connect with or follow today's guests, we'll leave all the details in the show notes below. Otherwise, go out into your own life and start having the conversations that matter. Ask for help if you need it. Ask a mate how he's really doing, or if he just wants to have a real conversation and go beyond the beers.